Now at Wasatch, and he's been a big part of this team the past couple of years.
Beautiful move by Jeremiah Johnson to get to the rack and finish.
So many guys who can get to this rack, the rack on this Wasatch team. It's hard to focus on one defensively.
18-13 now. Look at Osiris Grady say, little fella, come on. Tremendous defense, forces the three, as now head coach Jermaine O'Neal says to Hobbs, listen, we don't need that shot. You don't have to take the challenge. Move the ball around. Let's get it where we want it to go.
Yeah, definitely an ill-advised shot there from Hobbs. Very deep. He just didn't need to do it. Could have took his time.
Huang setting up the play. Johnson, we just saw him score. Look at the pass and look at the finish by Colin Murray Boyles.
Excellent vision there, and Murray Boyles just so good at the rim. That's what you got to do if you're Wasatch. Keep feeding the big man.
And now we got ourselves a three-point game. Wasatch, the team in orange, representing Utah. Dynamic Prep in a black, white, and gray from the great state of Texas. Faison. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. high off of the rim, but it misses. Here comes Huang all the way back, trying to get it to Diallo. Jaylin Faison slows things down, slows it down into the corner. Driving hard, trying to drop it off to Toombs, can't get it. Coming back the other way quickly, a 2-on-2 break. Knocked away by Faison. Huang chased off the three-point line initially, but knocks it down.
Yeah, what a shot there from Huang. Initially didn't look like that fast break would turn into much because of the good defense by Faison, but Huang takes his time with a little pump fake and just pure from deep.
We got ourselves a ball game. 18-18 is now our score. Head coach Jermaine O'Neal, can't help but to say his whole name, right? Like if you say head coach O'Neal, then maybe you forget the fact that you're talking about Jermaine O'Neal. So I think that is fun to do.
Shaquille if you're saying O'Neal.
Oh, it could have been Shaquille. That is a nice addition for two guys who played basically before you were ever born. But yes, it could be Shaquille O'Neal. But Jermaine O'Neal, again, if we had a camera on him over there, he's teaching, he's getting down to the eye level of the players and saying, hey, this is what we got to do. A couple of possessions down, and they didn't necessarily get the shots that they wanted. They've gone a little bit cold. Adam, what would you like to see Dynamic Prep do more or less of?
I think they need to calm down a little bit. They're trying to do too much on the offensive end. And we just saw a deep three from Dallas Hobbs. They just got to take a second, relax, and just, figure things out here. I think this is why this timeout is called by O'Neal.
As do I. You made the comment a moment ago that we haven't called the name of Jaden Toombs quite as much here today to begin this ball game. We'll see if there are any called plays, design plays for him. Leroy Kelly has scored a couple of buckets. We know that he's capable of being big time. Will the ball go to him? And Jackson Olvera has been on the bench for a while now.
And a very shallow bench for Dynamic Prep today, especially with the injury to Matt Dunn. Only 3 guys suited up who can come in.
Wasatch just in some light pressure, not really attempting to trap the ball, just making Dynamic Prep run clock, as now there are only 15 seconds on the shot clock to get a good shot up. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. down to Toombs. Everything that we just talked about, Adam, they execute.
Can't play any better defense than that if you're Diallo, but Toombs, as good as he is, he can just do whatever he wants down there.
Quickly, nice first step and finish by Newton.
And one heck of a finish there by Newton with, who we just said, Toombs in his face.
High off of the glass as two teams go back and forth. Hobbs rebounded by Toombs and one.
Yeah, Toombs, as I was saying, a little bit quiet early on. Not the game that we were expecting from him, but here he is, the young man finally starting to show up.
Jaden Toombs, just a sophomore, already 6'10", a good chance that he crosses that 7-foot threshold. We've seen him put it in from down low, but he can also score from a little bit outside of the paint as well.
Yeah, the kid is a star. It's as simple as that.
Really is the benefit of working luxurious tournaments such as this, is we had the opportunity to see these student athletes more than once. So by the time we call their games, we're familiar with them. Illegal screen as they attempted to get something going towards the rim from Malik Diallo. but they're moving.
Something else is these tournaments give a great platforms for all the creatives. As you look behind the baseline, so many creatives with their cameras, and it's really cool to see all these, mainly younger people with the cameras just show their creativity. And
that's right.
For these players, too, to get some great pictures of them on their Instagram.
Pictures and videos. I mean, human highlight reels are the creatives that are down there making it happen for the student, for the love of the student athletes. Colin Murray Boyles, a man amongst boys, knocks down another.
He's just so good. I mentioned this earlier, a Draymond Green type player almost, and he just gets it done. That's a NBA-style finish, the little turnaround jumper.
Jackson Olvera lost control of it and ends up taking a timeout to maintain the possession.
Yeah, and this is an important possession for Dynamic Prep to try and stay in the lead here.
23-22 is our score. Second quarter action here at the St. James MLK Classic. This is day 3 of this outstanding tournament, and only 2 games here today, and that, of course, as we alluded to, a short day because the student athletes have an opportunity to go sightsee in Washington, D.C., and sightseeing doesn't really do credit enough to what it is that they're doing. This is more than just hoops. It is history, it's culture as well. Going to see the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, going to see the African American History Museum, as well as everything else that this great area has to show. Adam, if you were advising potentially a loved one or a family member, if you had a romantic interest even that was coming into town, where would be one of the first places that you wanted to take them?
There's so much stuff here. The St. James, maybe.
Not a bad choice.
D.C. is my favorite city in the world. There's just so much to do. Just somewhere on the National Mall, see all the monuments, see the museums. It's, in my opinion, the greatest city on earth. It's the most powerful city on earth, and it's just such a great place.
Jaden Toombs with the offensive rebound and putback coming back the other way. That's going to be Osiris Grady, but it's blocked, and a nice play by O'Neal Jr.
Yeah, and a really big block there. And Dynamic Prep really controlling this game, surprising me a little bit.
Hobbs going baseline, kicks it out, 3-ball Kelly. Bang! It's a good offensive possession.
Absolutely, and Dynamic Prep just getting it done.
Wasatch had tied this game up at 22, a quick 6-0 run for Dynamic Prep. Kicking it out, Huang. We've seen Huang do that, but this time it doesn't work. Hobbs the other way, lays it in, an 8-0 run, and that's going to lead to a timeout call by Paul Peterson. He wants to talk it over.
Yeah, Dynamic Prep going on a run here. It all starts at the defensive end and on the other side. Look at this, Dallas Hobbs just playing it easy. Just goes for the easy layup, not trying to be too flashy, and then when they have a set offensive set, look at this look into the corner, and what a finish from Leroy Kelly. Gets it to bounce in after spending a lot of time on the rim. And for Dynamic Prep, just everything going well at the moment.
Well, 8-point advantage for Dynamic Prep right now, and it's been key moments without Isaiah Harwell on the floor, without R.J. Jones on the floor. If you're Coach Paul Peterson, do you believe that he is spelling those young men so that they can come on even stronger in the second half, or just wanting to get equal playing time for everybody?
I don't know. When you're at this level, you should be able to play almost the entire game, as we'll see Harwell and Jones coming back into this one. But, these guys are playing basketball year-round. They have the stamina to play pretty much the entire game, and this is just a very deep Wasatch Academy squad, and they travel so much, they play so many games. I think they do want to maybe mix things up a little bit, but I think that Jones and Harwell, this is a time where they need to get in. These are stars for a reason, and let's see what they can do.
Johnson rims out. Another quality play, although Murray Boyles can't finish.
And that's with the big defensive play there by O'Neal down low.
And look at this. Oh, Osiris Grady sends it home. Coming back the other way, back at the rim again. Stick-to-itness by Colin Murray Boyles.
Colin Murray Boyles, I cannot say enough about this young man doing everything well so far.
Jermaine O'Neal Jr. felt like a goaltending should have been called the last time down, and so he tries it from way downtown, and bang.
They say ball don't lie.
And there's Kelly on the steal. A 1-on-3 break, crosses over, loses the ball.
Yeah, I think that should be going Wasatch's way, but
They'll have to go
referees
possession
didn't
arrow.
see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look at the face of Kelly. He was not happy with himself, and I think you knew from that it was last touched by him.
9-point advantage for Dynamic Prep, 33-24. Could be R.J. Jones' time. Even when he has been in the game, he's been passive compared to the aggressive score that we saw yesterday. 3-ball, good. Isaiah Harwell.
He's money. He can do everything. Not known as a shooter, but he can get it done from deep anytime.
Olvera back to Hobbs. 6-point lead, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Hobbs step back, looking for the foul, doesn't get one. Murray Boyles gets it back into the hands of R.J. Jones.
Hobbs just trying to do a little bit much on the offensive end. It's another deep three, just a little bit unnecessary. When Dynamic Prep is taking their time, that's really when they're getting their buckets.
Jones coming off of the pick and roll. That's a 3. And 1.
There's R.J. Jones. What a talented player. I love his game. I'm excited to watch him at Kansas State next year. He's just a really solid player.
Well, I was hesitating because where was the foul called?
Actually, that might have been off ball.
Off
maybe.
the ball, yeah. I mean, there was no one near.
I heard the whistle, but it seemed like while the ball was in the air. So
yeah. I didn't think there was anyone close enough to Jones to have been fouled. And now the officials are going to talk this over, right? It's a bit of an odd play.
Yeah, to me it sounded like the whistle came by the time the ball was in the air. If we can see, ball's in the air, and
I don't know
now the arm goes up for the foul call.
The foul was on Olvera holding Colin Murray Boyles.
Oh, Wasatch had an open man down low, and Newton just wasn't seen by Jones.
And this one off Jones last, so regardless of what that call was, no additional points scored. Here comes Dynamic Prep.
Good
and
luck.
They leave Toombs, who misses the first dunk and comes back and lays it in. And I'll tell you what, Colin Murray Boyles is very upset with his teammates because they ran back down and didn't come back to help. And that'll be a travel.
Yeah, Murray Boyle is just a little bit hesitant. Really good defense by Dynamic Prep.
I love the energy that Jaden Toombs plays with. Love the emotion that he has about himself. A bit of controlled fury.
Yeah, absolutely. And just getting told by, the teammate of the same age, Jermaine O'Neal Jr., relax a little bit. We're still early on. You don't want to get too out of control.
Look at Toombs going to work, but excellent defense played by Malik Diallo.
Yeah, such good defense there by Diallo, coming off the bench and making a big play, big stop there to force the jump ball.
Yeah. Toombs not afraid, but Diallo keeps his feet on the ground, his hands in the air, and forces the jump. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. gets fouled and one.
Yeah, one of the assistant coaches for Wasatch was saying, screener, screener. It's going to go to Jones. It did. Doesn't matter that they knew it was coming because Jermaine O'Neal Jr. is that good.
There were whispers amongst the crowd here after we saw Dynamic Prep for the first time that maybe Jermaine O'Neal Jones could have been overrated. Well, here in the first half, he's showing that those whispers were likely premature and incorrect.
Yeah, a young player, so players like him who are still finding their own will have some rough games, but he's proven today that there's a reason he's one of the top 70 players in the 2025 class.
3-ball, Wasatch, bang! They needed that one. That's Newton knocking down the three and cutting the advantage to 39-33. 5 seconds. Hobbs tries to draw the foul. Look, Coach Jermaine O'Neal It's going to be about the third time that he says to Hobbs, son, what are you doing out there?
Yeah, still 1.9 on the clock, and this gives a chance for a heave for Wasatch.
Oh, well, that's a double dribble.
And so 0.3, that means you can tap one
That's
in
right.
here.
That's right. Here we go. Look for the back pick. Back pick, Toombs head into the basket.
Got to go kind of for the alley-oop.
All right. There we go. In any event, that's going to bring us to the conclusion of a well-played first half. Dynamic Prep leads Wasatch by a score of 39-33 here at the St. James MLK Classic. Chad Ricardo, Adam Gotkin. Adam Gotkin, what'd you think?
I'm a little bit surprised by this. A 6-point lead for Dynamic Prep.
Yeah.
Wasatch, I think, the more complete team, but the young guns for Dynamic Prep just taking over and showing how dynamic those two are. That's Jaylin Toombs and Jermaine O'Neal Jr. And Jermaine O'Neal Jr. has really taken his game to a next level today.
I know you're surprised. We'll talk more about that later on. 39-33 is our score. We'll be back to you in 10 minutes. This is the St. James MLK Classic. Hey, I mean, I don't want to say I told you. And we're back. Third quarter action set as the ball is going to get tossed in what has been a dynamic game thus far. Dynamic Prep leads Wasatch Academy by a score of 39-33. We've got stat sheets in front of us. Adam Gotkin, Chad Ricardo, Gotkin himself looking over those stats. What points out to you?
How complete of a game Dynamic Prep has played. It's not just been their two stars, Jaden Toombs and Jermaine O'Neal, but also Leroy Kelly with 8 points. Dallas Hobbs with 6. There's other guys getting it done too. Also, 5 steals and 4 blocks from Dynamic Prep. Wasatch has turned it over 13 times.
Man, trying to right that wrong here. 3 ball not going to fall. That'll say that that's the last touch by O'Neal Jr. And leading scores for the game, Jaden Toombs, he has 13. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. has himself 8. On the Wasatch side, a more balanced attack. Colin Murray Boyles has 9. R.J. Jones with 6. And let's put that young man in double digits. Colin Murray Boyles now has 11.
And Murray Boyles really impressed me a ton in half number 1. He is a really solid player.
Lead down to 4, but then Kelly steps up and knocks one down. It's back up to 7.
Yeah, players like Leroy Kelly, these role guys on Dynamic Prep, if they want to hold on, if they want to win this game, are going to have to play as well as they did in half number 1.
R.J. Jones with Hobbs in his hip pocket. Good defense. R.J. Jones, better offense.
Excellent defense there, but R.J. Jones is just a pro.
And we talked about this at the half. The bench is deeper as Olvera takes a 3. Isaac tries it. Can't quite afford that one. Jones coming back the other way. Up ahead to Murray Boyles. What a left-handed layup. Quick points and a timeout called as the lead is cut to 42-39.
Yeah, we were talking about this at half, as you're about to say. Dynamic Prep has 3 guys on the bench. Wasatch has so much depth. They're one of the bigger depth teams in the nation. They got a real 9-man rotation, and that could play a factor as we get towards the end of this game.
Man, I got to tell you, you knew where I was going with that before I even got the sentence out of my mouth. How much time are you and I spending together? That's the question.
We had about 14 hours yesterday. And we'll have another probably 12 or so tomorrow. Not enough. That's how much time.
The St. James MLK Classic. He's Adam Gotkin. I am Chad Ricardo. This is one of the best showcases that you will see anywhere in the country at any point in time, the St. James MLK Classic. Dynamic Prep, they're in black, gray, and white. They're coming to you from Irving, Texas, I should say. Wasatch Academy, Mount Pleasant, Utah, they're in orange. We'll see if Wasatch is able to turn up the pressure with their deeper bench. We've got a foul here.
Yeah, really good pressure there, Harwell. Just a little bit too aggressive, though, and gets the foul called on him.
Hobbs. R.J. Jones on him. Toombs going to set the high pick and roll. Hobbs into the lane, off the glass, and making it for 2.
That last foul was the 3rd on Harwell, so he's got to be a little careful. Also 2 on Jerry Huang, 2 on Malik Diallo, and a ton of fouls so far in this game by Wasatch.
O'Neal Jr. can't finish with the left hand, but Kelly, Johnny on the spot. It's up to a 7-point advantage again.
The second Wasatch gets back into this game, it's a quick run for a Dynamic Prep, and they're doing what they do best.
Colin Murray Boyles. Toombs checking him. Goes baseline. And fouled. We'll see if it's on Toombs or Kelly. Call it on Toombs.
That's just his first. Olvera has 3 for Dynamic Prep, but other than that, they stayed pretty much out of foul trouble. Only 5 in the first half for Dynamic Prep.
Those fouls landed Olvera on the bench for an extended stay during the first half, and their offense got a little clogged up when he was there. He's a 3-point shooter. He can stretch the floor and allow for everyone else to do what they want to do out there. Colin Murray Boyles, a true team leader for this Wasatch Academy squad. I'd like to see them get Osiris Grady more involved. I think that he opens things up for the offense as well. Dynamic Prep beats the press, gets it down to Toombs. Got a foul, though. It'll go against Murray Boyles. Three. Got it. Hobbs knocks down a three, hit a layup a moment ago. Now he's playing within the flow of the offense and doing damage.
Yeah, Hobbs was forcing a few in the first half. Didn't force that one, and it finally went in.
Good defense by Toombs.
I think a little bit of a force there from Murray Boyles.
Kelly looking to get down to Toombs. Hobbs directing traffic. They want to run a two-man game. Can Toombs post up Murray Boyles? No, but Hobbs going to the rack. That one's on the floor. Dallas Hobbs starting to feel it.
Yeah, that foul on the floor, but look at this, just burst from Hobbs, gets past the defender, ended up laying it in. That's an NBA bucket, but of course no continuation at this level.
I think at halftime someone sent him a text and said that we were over here saying that he was doing too much. He wanted to show us everything that he can do. Kelly dribbles back, gets it back into the hands of Hobbs. R.J. Jones on him now.
And they're really running the offense through the senior here to start this quarter.
Down to Toombs. He's got the baseline. He takes it. And one! Jaden Toombs.
Yeah, I didn't love that defensively there from Murray Boyles. He just gives Toombs the lane to go down the baseline, and Toombs is going to score on that every time with his height advantage.
He's too skilled. Again, there's a lot of bigs who don't have footwork, but he felt the pressure, applied the drop step, and then finished at the rack. Chance for a three-point play as it's already a double-digit lead to extend to 11. And even more importantly, I think that that's 4 on Murray Boyles, is it not?
I think that's his second of the half. He only had 2 coming in, so that might
That's
just be
4.
his third.
Nope, that's 4.
It's his second of the half. He had 1 coming in.
He had 1 coming in?
Yes.
Okay, because a moment ago you said that he had 3.
Man. No one had 3 on Wasatch. Jackson O'Vera had 3 on Dynamic Prep.
There we go.
That might have been it.
All right.
But, yeah, an 11-point lead here for Dynamic Prep. I was thinking Wasatch was going to come out and really start to take control, but no, Dynamic Prep is playing hard.
Well, this is what hurt them in the first half as we talk about the fouls, as maybe that was me foreshadowing, as O'Vera does indeed pick up his 4th, and he's got to come have a seat on the bench. Into the game is Jaylin Faison. Faison can knock down threes, maybe not quite the defender and creator as O'Vera, as Osiris Grady gets to the rack.
And that's another foul there on Wasatch Academy as we look back on this last play. R.J. Jones just saying, you know what, Osiris Grady, you take this one, and what a take it was, gets it off the window.
Hobbs dribbling forward, Newton on him. Toombs for 3. Just wanted a heat check. He's made a couple of shots, a couple of dunks. Wanted to show the world what everything that he could do. But that's a carry. It's the first one we've seen in this game.
Yeah, first one we've seen in this game. But we saw, 3, 2 in the last one? I mean, they are not afraid to call carries in this tournament. Dallas Hobbs trying to draw a foul there.
Kelly.
A bit of a screen.
Leroy Kelly, foul, no foul, knocks down another 3. Dynamic Prep, instead of fading away, they're beginning to heat up.
Yeah, Kelly is just getting it done in all phases of the game, shooting it really well.
That's going to be a foul. As checking in now is Jacoby Campbell.
And it just shows how hot Kelly is. Initially, he thought that one was off, was running in to maybe get the rebound.
And a beautiful out-of-bounds play. Jeremiah Johnson finds an easy 2.
Yeah, that was just drawn up perfectly and executed even better.
Jermaine O'Neal Jr. beats it over, gets it back into the hands of Jacoby Campbell. Dynamic Prep leads Wasatch Academy by a score of 55-45. 3 minutes and 32 seconds remaining here in the third. Three off the mark, but look at Leroy Kelly skying for another.
I mean, Leroy Kelly is just coming to nowhere in this game. He's up towards 15 points, if not more.
Leroy Kelly throwing his name firmly into that player of the game hat. It's another turnover by Wasatch. Still relatively quiet for R.J. Jones, Adam, in that the first time that we saw them, when Wasatch needed a bucket, they went to him.
Yeah, and, you know, R.J. Jones, when he's getting the ball, he's getting it done, but there's almost maybe too many guys who can do it for Wasatch, that they're trying to feed everyone, and because of that, no one has been able to take over, and no one player has been able to really get into the zone yet.
Campbell back into the hands of Faison. They trap him. Jacoby Campbell through the teeth. Campbell attempted to get an and one of his own. He will head to the free throw line for two.
You know, most times when you see a basketball player who's just 5'7", that can be a disadvantage, but this is when, you know, that kind of shortness can come and help you. It's hard to guard a guy who's that small.
It's like Toombs may have some blood on him, and let's take a look at this and see how long he has to be out of the game. 2 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the third. They're up by 12. You alluded to it at the start of this game. This is a team that is thin to begin with, and they're without sophomore center Matt Dan, who had an apparent lower leg injury within minutes of when he checked in their first time playing, and we can see him sitting on the bench with his leg propped up, his very long leg at that.
Yeah, and they need to get Toombs back in right away because now a huge height advantage for Wasatch.
See if Wasatch goes directly to the rim. They do, but stepping out of bounds, another turnover for the Academy.
Yeah, they're just struggling here, maybe a little bit flustered and frustrated with how this game has gone.
Jaylin Faison, they almost got him in the trap, but he's able to get it to the senior Campbell. Now Campbell pushing everyone away. He's going to run the play that coach wants. Good point guard is an extension of your head coach. Taking time off of the clock, working his defender.
Well, he wants an ISO, but excellent defense from Huang.
There's the first pick. Now he's got O'Grady on him. 4 seconds, Campbell shoots. Now that is maybe a foul on Faison.
And I thought that maybe should have been a foul on Kelly. He hit Newton pretty
yeah,
hard.
That's
there.
what it looked like, but it's
Just,
instead
out of bounds. But Campbell had the ball for way too long. He was holding on to
Yeah.
it for about 30 seconds, a little bit more, and you're
Right.
never going to have that good of an offensive possession when that happens. And you could tell that Jermaine O'Neal Jr. was saying, come on, it's time, just give up the ball, let's try something new.
Kelly, that's going to be steps.
Yeah, his foot kind of just slipped a little bit as he tried to plan and moved a little bit happy feet.
I'll tell you what, quite a quarter that Kelly is having.
Oh, absolutely. He's put the team on his back here.
Up by 14, 59-45 is the score. 2 minutes remaining. Wasatch needs a bucket. They go down low to Colin Murray Boyles. That's a good idea, and Boyles gets fouled. And now we'll see as Malik Diallo is about to come into the game. Will he come in for the shooter or Osiris Grady? Or will Coach truly look to take advantage of the size?
Well, Toombs back on the bench, but he is still staying on the bench. Maybe Jermaine O'Neal trying to see what he can do with a small ball lineup in. Looks like he'll be coming in for Murray Boyles. That Diallo not coming in after the first free throw.
And the second free throw good. Colin Murray Boyles playing himself one heck of a ball game. Likely the most reliable scoring threat for Wasatch. He's going to take a breather, see if he can't get some time off of the court now and at the quarter change. It's a 12-point game, 3-point ball, up and good. That is what Jaylin Faison does.
And I worry where the offense is going to come from now for Wasatch with Harwell on the bench, Jones on the bench, Murray Boyles on the bench. Where's it going to come from? Maybe this guy, Johnson.
Nice take by Jeremiah Johnson. Gets baseline. Reminds me of a much shorter but a Stacey Augmon with his length and able to get to the rim. Before your time, I know.
Way
I'm
before.
sorry.
Never heard that one before.
Gotcha. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. knocks it down. Stacey Augmon, he's around the time of me and father Jermaine O'Neal there. Stacey Augmon of UNLV fame. Oh, that's a steal by Kelly. A nice outlet, Jermaine. Oh, no. Good rebound, rejected by Diallo. Jermaine O'Neal Jr.
Wasatch has got to find a way to come up with that ball.
And there's Diallo. Not going to lie, Adam, I wanted for Jacoby Campbell to throw that one off of the backboard to O'Neal Jr.
Yeah, would have needed like a Muggsy Bogues type of bounce to get it, though, at 5'8" for.
Oh. It's foul called on Roberson. 15-point game. We've kind of been waiting for the push from Wasatch. Looking for the run. They haven't been able to put one together yet, and a credit to Dynamic Prep.
I think they just kind of chip away here at the last 40 seconds of this quarter. Try and get this one to closer to 10. It's at 15 right now, and I think they got a chance going into the final frame.
Hobbs, who has had himself one heck of a third quarter, coming back in for Kelly, who also had one heck of a third quarter as well. And the free throws are good, so needed the free throws, got the free throws. 13-point game. 30 seconds on the shot clock, 33 seconds remaining in the quarter. Hobbs not waiting for either one of them.
I don't know about that one. That seems like a bit of a ticky-tacky foul, and in a game like this, I feel like you just got to try and let him play more.
Yep, the result is that Hobbs is going to go to the line. He's shooting 1 and 1. Here in the third quarter with his play, Hobbs may have advanced himself to the front of the game MVP line.
I think at this point, at least through three quarters, it's going to Leroy Kelly. What he has done, especially for a guy who we're not expecting it from, he's been a game changer.
Osiris Grady on the rebound. Here's Huang, 25 seconds.
Huang's
Newton
a shooter.
Back to Huang. Hobbs now picks him up, 15 seconds on the clock. The freshman getting a hand in there. Hobbs comes away with the steal. Hobbs controls. Hobbs gets the foul called. And Hobbs will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and just good hustle here from Dynamic Prep, and 2 shots to come now.
I'll tell you what, Adam, what had been a hard-fought, tough, close game is now turning into advantage Dynamic Prep.
Absolutely. They've really impressed me in this one and the way that they're sticking in it. Not a team with much depth, but they have not given up, and they're still playing well.
Here in the third quarter, they have in many ways just suffocated this Wasatch team and smothering the life and energy that the team in orange came here to play with.
Now is where Isaiah Harwell, now is where R.J. Jones needs to show up. These two, your offensive playmakers, they need to start hitting their shots.
You got the feeling in Q1 that both teams were ready to come out here and truly just put on a show, and realizing that this was a showcase game in the eyes of the nation we're watching. But Dynamic Prep, credit them for the way that they have, at least here in the third quarter, extinguished the Wasatch fire.
Yeah, and this is going to be a surprise result. Dynamic Prep showing that they are a legit squad. If they can hold on, they're a team that can hang with almost anyone in the country. Still got one more quarter to go, though. And Wasatch, as deep as they are, this is when that depth can start to make an impact. But a 15-point lead for Dynamic Prep, so they are showing what they can do here.
Has Wasatch shown you enough, either in this game or in the game against Prolific Prep, to lead you to believe that they can overcome a 15-point advantage in one quarter?
I think that they have.
How do they do it?
I think it all starts with Isaiah Harwell.
All right.
He's a youngster, just a sophomore, but we're seeing what these sophomores on Dynamic
Yeah.
Prep can do. Put the ball in his hands. He's got a great shot, and he can put the ball on the floor. He's a guy, if he can start to take over a game, he can do it. And then Wasatch has shown what they can do defensively. They did a really good job against Prolific Prep back on Friday night. Prolific Prep, one of the best offensive teams in the country. They're ranked 3rd in the nation. I believe in this Tigers squad that they can make this one close, but it's not going to be easy.
All right, so it starts with Harwell, and then it's the
R.J.
defensive
Jones after that.
intensity, and R.J. Jones as well. And we'll look for Colin Murray Boyles also, but we'll take a moment to pause for the calls and give a shout-out to our people and friends that make today possible. The MLK Classic at the St. James is sponsored by T47 International. Federal, state, and local government's first and next call for professional support services. That's T47 International. One more quarter today, day 3 of the St. James MLK Classic. Dynamic Prep leads Wasatch Academy by a score of 66-51. The action right here in front of us.
Yeah, right in front of us. We wave hi to the camera right there.
Oh, say hi to your mother. Adam, I always tell you to say hi to your mother on air, and you never do it.
She's not watching this.
Oh, okay. All right. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. going to draw the foul, and he'll head to the line for 2.
Yeah, Wasatch, this could be a big part of the game. They cannot stay out of foul trouble. Already in the double bonus now is Dynamic Prep. That was the 10th of the half. They had 9 in the first half.
Man. He's fouled out.
Oh, wow. And that could be a game changer. Harwell now done for the day.
Well,
I said if Wasatch is going to come back, it's going to be in the hands of Isaiah Harwell. Now he's out. It's all on R.J. Jones.
There goes option number 1 for the comeback is Jermaine O'Neal Jr. calmly knocks down the first free throw. Free throw number 2 upcoming.
This Wasatch team, they've now lost 5 in a row, all of them close games. Just frustration. You can tell it on the bench. They are not happy with how they're playing right now.
I agree with that. I do. Again, and that's what I wanted to allude to in not such strong terms as they advance the ball down the court, that they came out in this game, appeared to be burning with a passion to prove something, but they're now in a whimper state. The fight doesn't appear to be there anymore. As Jeremiah Jones, who's been fighting hard all game long, able to put that one back in. And that's not what I want to see from them. I would love to see them make a run here against this very good Dynamic Prep squad.
Yeah, this is a good Wasatch team. You know, they beat Oak Hill earlier this year. They beat Bishop Walsh, and they beat Arizona Compass Prep. And it's overall a good program. And for them to fall all the way down to 500 is not where they want to be on a year. But you know, we still got time. We're still just in mid-January.
They are so talented. So many quality student athletes out there. As that's going to be on the floor. And, again, Jeremiah Johnson is playing with that passion.
Yeah, and they have Link Academy up next. Wasatch does. Link Academy, one of the better teams in all of the country. And that'll be a close one.
Olvera checks back in, as does Leroy Kelly. And Huang just
That's just how this game has gone.
Love Malik Diallo on the bench, standing to his feet, helping to encourage his teammates. That's what it's going to take.
Yeah, you can see it in the rest of the squad that they're just frustrated at this point. They're not happy with how they've played.
Good defense by R.J. Jones. Gets the steal. Can they come down and get a bucket? There we go. Into the hands of Jeremiah Johnson. Hop step rejected by Toombs. No call.
Should have kicked that into the corner to Jones. He's a sharpshooter. He's an open 3.
Jermaine O'Neal Jr. attempted to finish that in one motion, and coming back down, Johnson gets fouled, and he'll head to the line for 2.
And Toombs has just been a difference maker because That's another missed layup because of Toombs. Now he got the foul on that last one, but still he's making an impact in the interior.
And dynamic prep coach Jermaine O'Neal, this is one of those that you've spoken about a couple of times here. Ahead of any real run, he calls a timeout to begin to teach and coach his young men. 68-53 is our score. Fourth quarter action, day number 3 of our 4-day event. We've got 7 more games for you here tomorrow. A lot more basketball to play here tonight, but in a flurry, Adam Gotkin, what 1, 2, 3 games are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Well, the one that everyone's eyes are on is the 2:15 matchup, the top 5 matchup on the girls' side, Montverde versus Sidwell. Got probably like 8, 9 All-Americans on the floor, 10, 15 Division I athletes. That's going to be the game that everyone is looking out for. But other than that, we've got a ton of other good matchups. Another one that I'm excited to see is going to be John Marshall versus Grayson.
Wow.
At the second game of the day at 10:45 a.m.
Really? Man, we're going to wake up on fire, huh?
Yeah, we start things off with that big girls matchup, IMG against Immaculate Conception. And we've got non-stop action all day long.
Jeremiah Johnson at the free throw line, able to go 1 for 2. Cuts the lead to 14 here. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Wasatch at the, oh, man. Whoa! Jermaine O'Neal Jr., but what a block by Osiris Grady. The officials say that they got him with the body.
Yeah, and a lot of frustration on the floor here for the Tigers and on the bench. Let's look at this replay. I don't know about that one.
You heard Coach Paul Peterson let out a yelp.
Yeah, and just so many fouls on the Tigers here in this game. There's just frustration on their bench. Just palms in the air.
Jermaine O'Neal Jr. nets the first. You know, I was as O'Neal Jr. is at the free throw line and as he goes through his process, I was watching the television show and there was a group of individuals that were insulting the process that free throw shooters go through when they shake hands with other people on their team and even the people from behind, and they were insulting that. Why do you got to do that every time? Yada, yada, yada. It's a process. You do the same thing at the free throw line. It helps to settle you from the line. What was your process?
What's a routine? So at the free throw line, whenever free throws are one of the better parts of my game. What I do is I get up there, take a little deep breath, bounce the ball twice, spin it in my hands, bounce it twice again. I can be decent from the line, but we were talking about this yesterday. Lacrosse, my main sport, and there, my big thing is I was always at the very front, about 10 yards in front of everyone else for the national anthem. I would take that time for me to just try and relax, calm down in my head, and just, really get into the zone.
It's an outstanding putback by Colin Murray Boyles that we saw there as Adam Gotkin just let you know that the best part of his game was his free throw shooting.
It's an important part.
It is a very important part. I just don't know that I've ever heard anyone say that it was the best part of their game. As another very nice take by Newton, and just like that, it's down to 12.
If they can get this to 8 with under 4 minutes to go,
That's
I think
right.
they have a chance, especially with how Wasatch can shoot this one from deep.
That's right. The bench is starting to heat up. Wow. As the official is sending Coach Peterson back into the coaching box. Osiris Grady checks in.
I don't know how necessary that is. Coach Peterson is maybe an inch on the floor, but he's into the game. He's an energetic coach, and I like what I see from him.
Well, that is the same staunch, rule-disciplined official that called a technical on a student-athlete with 4 seconds remaining in last game. Another shot made by Dynamic Prep. 14-point ball game. Wasatch not only needs to score, but they need stops on the other end. R.J. Jones trying to take care of the offensive side, can't do it. Jackson Olvero had the rebound, and here comes Kelly throwing it up to Toombs, who puts it in and one.
Yeah, and that's not the foul that you want to commit if you're R.J. Jones, but really, You got no choice. You got to go for the block at this point of the game. You can't give up easy points, and if there's a chance you can get it, I guess you got to try and go for it.
74-58, back up to 16 just like that. All right. Now, I asked you this prior, and it was a little premature. Now we can begin talking about who gets your vote for game's most valuable student athlete.
I don't know, honestly. That's a hard thing to answer because it's been a all-around game for a dynamic prep. You know, you have Jaden Toombs, who's been really good, Jermaine O'Neal Jr., and Leroy Kelly, the three sophomores. It's got to be one of them, and which one? It's hard to choose. If I got to pick one, maybe Leroy Kelly. He's definitely the third option on most games out of those three, but what he did in the middle of this game to really extend the lead and put dynamic prep on that next level, I think it got to go to him.
Oh, and had O'Neal Jr. made that three or Kelly had the putback, it would have been icing on their cake. Coming back the other way, Newton still playing hard, nails the three to cut this back to a 13-point advantage.
I mean, 14-point game, I don't think it's completely over. Still some time, 4:14 to go, and this is a young dynamic prep team. If the Tigers can get some pressure on them, if they can start to shoot the ball the way that I've seen them shoot in the past, the way that they can, it's not over.
No.
But they would need things to really start going their way.
Right now,
and the fact that dynamic prep is already in the double bonus and Isaiah Harwell is fouled out doesn't make things easy.
Especially with just the amount of talent that is wearing orange jerseys right now. If you can get things going. And I think that, you know, we've seen this especially in the midst of this tournament and in all of the basketball games that we've covered. It's all about getting it under 10, right? If you get it under 10, then mentally something says, hey, we got a chance here.
I think under 10 with 3 minutes to go, and that's where you kind of have a chance.
14 right now. Kelly on the inbound gets it to Jermaine O'Neal Jr. Back into the hands of Kelly, and that was almost a carry. O'Neal Jr. to Toombs. Toombs, no foul called.
That's good defense.
Huang.
Yeah, he should have shot that. He's got a good shot. He thought it for a second. Got to put that one up if you're Huang.
Steps on the inline.
That's a travel.
Ball goes back over to dynamic prep. 75-61. Campbell eyeing down the defense. Now to Olvera, ahead to O'Neal Jr. Spin move, kiss, no. Toombs, no. Foul.
Yeah, and 1-and-1s now to come the rest of the game for Wasatch. This is the 8th foul, so actually after 2 more, they'll have 2 shots in the double bonus, and these are must-makes.
Osiris Grady headed to the free throw line. The only issue with this is he's got a limp about himself. Knocks down the first.
I mean, at this level, everyone can shoot from the free throw line.
Adam, don't say that. That was the best part of your game. Don't you just go giving that superpower away to everyone else.
Well, that's why I said at this level. At my level,
No.
I was the only one.
Okay. 2 for 2 by Osiris Grady. 12-point game. Need a stop. Kelly ahead. O'Neal Jr. is that time they executed, but a block by CJ. But Toombs puts it in again. R.J. Jones made the first good defensive play. Osiris Grady going right at Toombs. Nice-looking move, but Toombs' defense. Whoa. R.J. Jones. They're going to call a push initially on Jackson Olvera.
Yeah, I looked down for a second. Didn't see what happened there, but you see.
R.J. Jones threw the ball off of Olvera, but it looks like he
I don't know.
only got a warning.
Well, actually, it looks like
that's interesting. And we'll see. I don't know whether it is possible, and if not, that's completely cool. But I don't know if it's possible for us to get a replay of that again.
They're giving him a one-on-one for a technical, they just said.
Let's take a look at this. Okay, so Olvera did.
I think he's trying to keep it in bounds a little bit.
No, he wasn't. He
mean,
threw the ball. What are you looking at the same replay that?
He's trying to throw it off the defender. He's trying to get the ball.
No, Olvera pushed him first, which is where the technical foul came from. Olvera hit him with an elbow, and so it's a double technical.
I try and feel like I guess, I don't know the best way to say it. Try and give the benefit of the doubt to the student athletes, especially in this one.
Take another look. There's the push from Olvera.
The ball's still in. There's a little bit of frustration there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that Adam Gotkin is looking at the same replay as you are.
Well,
he's a lover of the people.
Because here's what I see. As someone
an advocate of the student athletes.
Give me a second.
Okay.
As someone who has had their fair, when I was playing as a feisty player.
You're a feisty free throw shooter.
If you're gonna throw it off of someone, you're not gonna throw it at their leg. That's just my little point there.
Oh, Osiris Grady comes up with the steal, gets it to Jeremiah Johnson. He's going to head to the free throw line. If he can get 2, it's down to 12.
And I said they got to get it to 10 with under 3 minutes. And they'll be in the double bonus from now on. It's the 10th foul on Dynamic Prep. Ton of fouls in this game.
Yeah, we haven't had a ton of flow here in the second half.
No, and that really hurts when you're trying to come back in a game.
Sure. Hobbs checking back in. We didn't mention his name a moment ago in potential game MVPs, and we should, as he had a huge start to the third quarter as the officials now double-checking the fouls as we, like you alluded to, have a lot. Has anyone else reached the exit mark? Not yet. Jeremiah Johnson. 2 for 2. 12-point ball game. Foul on Huang.
Yeah, another foul. I mean, we got no flow in this game. I think that's over 20 fouls now in this game from the Tigers, and I don't know if that's out of frustration, but you can't come back when you keep fouling this much.
Dallas Hobbs at the free throw line, the 6'2" senior. Inside, outside now from the free throw line as well. Knocks down the first. And Hobbs 2 for 2. What you can't do if you're Wasatch is exchange free throws. Well,
and another foul.
I guess maybe you can. It just may not be what gets you back into the game.
Yeah, it's just foul after foul after foul on each possession, and none of them have seemed too noticeable to me. But again, there's a reason I'm not a basketball referee. I've reffed in my day, though. Not basketball. Yeah. Actually, that's not true. I have reffed a few basketball games.
That does not surprise me, Adam Gotkin. It doesn't surprise me.
Player, I've coached, reffed, broadcasted. Done it all in the sports world.
Now, you see, Adam, if we get a replay here, that is saving the ball off of your opponent. What a producer we have here. What a producer. We thank you for that look, sir. All right. 13-point game. 2:59. Talking it over with head coach Paul Peterson. In Brown. Colin Murray Boyles. Johnson's got a small. Oh, that's going to. Oh, wow.
Ooh. I mean, it's probably This is the longest 10 seconds of game action ever. We've had 6 fouls, it feels like, in the last 10 seconds of game. And chance to make it just 11.
Coach Jermaine O'Neal speaking it over with the officials, saying what exactly happened there. In an 11-point game with 2:53. Can they get a stop without a foul? That's a kickball. It's not a foul, though. It's not a foul.
No, it is not.
The whistle blew. The play stopped, but it wasn't a foul. No free throw. Hobbs.
Well, they got to get it over half court, and that's 10 seconds. That's exactly what you got to do if you're Wasatch.
And, now that is – it's Coach O'Neal.
And he just yells, get a stop, because
Coach O'Neal for the first time speaking over a whispered tone.
if Wasatch can get a deal here or can get a score here, they're going to start to believe.
They would be under 10.
It's
10. What we've been talking about.
They could start to believe.
We've been talking about it for 20 minutes. Only about 30 seconds have gone by in game time, but we've been talking about it for a while, and, they couldn't ask for a better shot for Colin Murray-Boyles. 81-70. Hobbs gets it to Kelly. Kelly back into the hands of Campbell, and now they can set their offense. Jeremiah Johnson on Kelly. What a pass to Hobbs for the jam. Excuse me, that's Jaden Toombs for the jam. Back the other way, and rebounded by Jermaine O'Neal Jr. Jacoby Campbell now under 2 minutes.
Chad, who's your player of the game?
I think that right there, probably that exclamation mark for Jaden Toombs. Selfishly, I wanted to be able to tell my mother I interviewed Jermaine O'Neal, so I wasn't going to share that it was the junior, so I was hoping for number 7 in black, but I believe that Jaden Toombs has earned it, although I would not be fundamentally opposed to Hobbs getting it just for the work that he did to start the third, which is when this went from a close game to a 10-point plus advantage. (83-70). That shot rims out. Second attempt. (84-70). Jeremiah Johnson. Murray-Boyles whips it around. It's stolen by Jermaine O'Neal Jr. We'll make sure we throw that into his stat column and that everyone knows about it. Hobbs, it's a kickball.
Yeah, and it's a good play there from Williamson just to try and, from Jeremiah Johnson to just try and slow things down.
Okay.
And, not allow that play to continue on. Yes, it's a kickball, but you'd rather have a kickball than a completed pass.
I got an Toombs. I think that does it. Gotkin. Yeah, that's going to be your MVP.
Exclamation point there, and guy's still playing with a bunch of passion and a blowout.
Jaden Toombs, just a sophomore. Nice play by Colin Murray-Boyles, still playing hard, and a timeout going to be called by Coach Peterson.
Yeah, and Murray-Boyles is a really good player in his own right.
Yeah, he is.
Well, clock's still running.
We love it from him. As they reset that, it'll be a little over 1 minute left. And look at Coach Jermaine O'Neal saying to his young man, that was a nice dunk. I love it, but then you didn't get back to secure that rebound. That is the type of thing that you teach from, Adam Gotkin.
Oh, absolutely. And to still teach at a time like this, at a moment like this, it just, Jermaine O'Neal is coaching his son right now, Jermaine O'Neal Jr., but I wouldn't be surprised if after his son leaves Dynamic Prep, wherever he goes, some top school, if Jermaine O'Neal Sr. maybe takes a college coaching job or something like that, because I love the way that he's coached this team. The passion he instills in his squad, the way that they run their defense, the offensive sets that he has put his team in. I think that he has a chance to be a really solid coach at a high level.
And again, what I love from him also is just the way that he teaches. It doesn't seem to be a yeller. He's a teacher. Although he did raise his voice a couple of times when he needed to here in the fourth quarter to get his team's attention. Okay, I'm going to ask you this. 57 seconds left in this game, and so we'll focus here while multitasking a bit. Out of the 3 days that we have seen thus far, and we've seen a majority of the teams, who is the favorite player, boy or girl, that you have watched thus far?
Oh, gosh, Chad.
I mean, hey.
We've seen.
I'm here to ask you the tough questions.
Probably 200 players at this point.
Maybe. I can't do the math that fast.
To pick one.
Sure.
I'm going to need a second to look through.
Okay.
Because that is a.
Well, we've got more free throws. We've got more free throws, Adam. So, you know.
I'll get back to you in a second.
Oh, man. See, now, I'm going to ask myself the same question.
What about you?
Well, you know, I think that. Is this now 88-72, 45 seconds remaining? For me, I'm going to cheat a bit. Colin Murray Boyles with another nice putback and give you 2.
I got my answer.
I'm going to give you 2. 1A and 1B. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. thought about a 3. It's going to be Mike Williams, number 1, and then Sonia Ja as well.
Sonia Ja is going to be my top girls player to watch so far. She was just incredible for Montverde. For the boys, it's not going to be one of these, top recruits that we've seen.
Yep.
From John Marshall, Jason Rivera.
Why not? Why not?
The Hollywood star.
So I actually had just pulled the John Marshall roster here to go there as well. Yeah.
A star on an Apple TV show, and what a basketball player he is. He can do it all, and I'm very excited to see him tomorrow against the Grace.
Is he committed?
No, not committed yet.
Does he have offers? Because
yes,
he can play.
He can really play.
Now,
and he can also act.
If you're tuning in right now to see this game, please do by all means tune in tomorrow morning to see the young man and the team that we're talking about. John Marshall from in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. According to some, the number 1 team in the country, but
Preps.
A really, really, really good squad. And this kid, Rivera, he is our player of the game on yesterday.
Yeah, it's a public school squad, and they've got Division I talent all over it. Very excited to see them tomorrow. I'm also excited to see Jackson Reed tomorrow, another public school,
right.
local one. They take on Legacy School, another Texas team. Got a loaded schedule tomorrow. It'll be fun.
Nope, that is going to do it for this game as Dynamic Prep takes care of Wasatch Academy by a final score of 90-74. Impressive ball games by multiple student athletes. We're honestly not sure who's going to be the player of the game. You had Jaden Toombs. You had Jermaine O'Neal Jr. out there. You also had Leroy Kelly. A good game by Dallas Hobbs as well. Who will it be? Your last vote, Adam.
Leroy Kelly.
I said Jaden Toombs, and
right.
Toombs it is.
Toombs got it in game number 1, and he'll get himself a second sweatshirt. Got one in the first game, although I don't know if that sweatshirt will fit him. Big guy, 6'10". We'll see.
Jaden Toombs, and I am going to do everything that I can here to see if we can't get an interview with Jermaine O'Neal as well. Donovan. Can we get well, yeah. So we can get Jaden Toombs. Jaden Toombs is here. Congratulations, sir. We're going to get you mic'd up. Yeah. All right. So, Jaden, we want to speak with you first. First of all, congratulations on a huge – man, you're tall in real life, right? Man, seeing you out there on the court, is he listed at 6'10", but really 6'7", but you're a legit 6'10". Out here today as well as yesterday, you played a dynamic game. I love to see a big who's not afraid to be a big. Yes, where does that come from you going down there in the paint and dominating on the blocks?
Just toughness. I know not a lot of people nowadays are tough. I'm just trying to be tougher than everybody and display what I work on every day. I work hard.
Yeah, and Jaden, you guys are still a program that's up and coming. 3 sophomores in your starting lineup. What kind of message do you hope that this win sends to the rest of the nation?
We're not just no weak sophomores. Everybody come, they think we weak. We not weak. We tough.
And then tonight, you were playing another big-time squad in this Wasatch program. I felt as though early in the first quarter that they really wanted to come out and send a message and show that they could play with you all. But as the game wore on, you all, not to be disrespectful, but you kind of took the energy and emotion out of them so that by the time it got to the fourth quarter, it kind of looked like they were ready to go back home. Did you feel the same way?
Yes, sir. I just knew the team that stayed together the longest tonight was the team that's going to win, and we did that.
What can we expect from you all for the rest of the season, this dynamic prep squad?
We're just going to always be together. We're going to play hard all the time. We're going to display what we work on every day, every time y'all see us.
All right, Jaden Toombs, one of my new all-time favorite student athletes. Look
Yes,
forward
sir.
to watching your career, brother.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Jaden Toombs, our student athlete of the game, outstanding 2-game stretch there. Now we are going to hope to have a word with head coach Jermaine O'Neal as well, if we can get him over here.
And seriously, what a game from Jaden Toombs.
Now it's truly a true pleasure here. Now, Coach, I got to tell you.
Jason Wilford, University of Virginia. We're going to be in touch.
Wow.
Studs.
Wow. Wow. You hear it.
I do. I play football. Okay. All right. I'll be in touch.
I know Jamal Robinson. He doesn't know who Jamal Robinson is. He's too young. Now, a true pleasure for us as Jermaine O'Neal joins us on the broadcast here. Coach, first of all, thank you very much for taking a moment, and congratulations on an outstanding game from your young men. This was a showcase. I felt like Wasatch, and we just talked to Jaden about this, they wanted to come out and prove to you all that they belonged on the same court. They did it for a quarter, but your young men really took advantage and took control of the game as it wore on.
One thing we talk about is just consistency, right? Everybody wants something, right? But they don't want to put in the work consistently to get it, right? And we talked about that, coming out of the locker room. They've had a rough schedule, and I intentionally did it, especially for a year one program. They've been on the road for 6 weeks.
Wow.
And we played 4 teams in the top 20 in
Yeah.
the country. And it's come down to possession games, right? And I told them, I said, look, think about how we've lost in the games is because mentally we're not engaged at the level we should be to get the outcome that we want and we need. So they came in today with a purpose. It was even tougher because we only had 8 kids. We
That's
had one
right.
kid get hurt.
Yeah.
We had another kid get hurt the day before we came down here, and another kid got COVID. So, we said, look, next man up. Nobody cares who you got. We got to play the game, and they did.
Yeah, and Coach, after a long NBA career like you had, you could have just sat down on your couch and relaxed. Why do you do this? Why do you come to Dynamic Prep, and why do you coach?
So, I think you have to pass down what was given upon you, right? Xavier McDaniel came into my community gym when I was 8, 9 years old, and he started a team, and he gave me a vision, right? There's certain things, as my mother's a single parent, an inner city kid, there's certain things that she couldn't teach me as a single parent, and it took somebody else. And sometimes it takes a community to help these kids get to where they need to get to. And that's the reason why I built the facility, the sports complex in Dallas. We've had 130 plus, not including the senior class, Division I athletes, both basketball and volleyball. Cade Cunningham, Drew Timmie, RJ Hampton, Tariq Maxey, all kids that I've coached in the program. And so we wanted to take it a step further with Dynamic Prep and put some schooling to it. And I think, we have ideas to build something special in Texas from a school perspective that kind of mirrors the IMG model. And I think it's probably time. And I'm going to tell y'all, I was just telling my wife today, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to go bald when I get back home because I'm losing all of my hair coaching these kids.
I got a double-barrel question for you, but they're both in the same lane here. Obviously, you're coaching your son. I've got a son now. He's 3 years old. I can't imagine what it must be like, both from how special it must be, and at times you're both his dad and his coach, how frustrating it might be in moments as well. What is this challenge like for you and for him?
Well, it's interesting that you asked a question. Me and my son, I make sure I check in with him on a week-to-week basis, right? Because I also coach him in club too. Right, and we get to a point where I start to feel like he needs to go out to the court and not feel me because sometimes it's not a separation between coach and dad, right? Yeah. It actually runs into each other, and I know sometimes I'm hard on him because he's told me what his goals are, right? And so I hold him accountable for those goals, right? And sometimes he doesn't understand it, and sometimes he don't want to talk to me at home because dad, the coach, is hard on him in practice or in the game. So as a dad, I need to make sure I'm doing what is necessary for my son to be as successful as possible. He has to do everything that he needs to do to accomplish things that he said he wants to do.
Yes.
I would love my kid to be successful, but I think the biggest challenge for him now is dad coaching. Sisters at the University of Texas just won a national championship in volleyball.
Wow.
So she has kind of set the standard, So I'm like, okay, well, Jermaine, you worrying about me, but it's sister that's got the pressure on you.
Right. And look, I'll follow that up with this. One of the things is Adam and I have both marveled at your coaching style over there. You appear to be such a teacher. Right. To your young men. I don't see you jumping and stomping. I did hear you raise your voice a couple of times when they weren't executing in the fourth quarter, but you're a teacher. Yeah. Why is that important?
You know what is interesting? Like, it's like the love aggressive, I don't want to say hate because it's not hate. It's like a love aggressive, relationship that you got to have with these players. I can yell at them, but at the same time, I'm going to come back and say, hey, great job. That's what I'm talking about, right? We get more response. These kids are learning differently. They're handling things differently. We don't know how their parents raise them at home. So we got to kind of find that balance on how we want to get the best out of these kids. And that's what I try to do. I try to make sure that they understand I do not play. Right? And we're going to come on the road. We're going to be presentable to the public and to themselves and to their families. And I told myself, anytime it's a camera, there's at least one person that has never saw you play before. And in many cases, that's the right person. So come out here and do what you're supposed to do. Don't do anything that we haven't practiced.
Sure.
Right? Do what we practice, and it's going to land us in a good place.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Coach. Wait a
second.
As someone who grew up with my dad coaching me my entire life, that really resonated, and I'm very, very excited to see what you guys can do as a program.
Thank you.
Well, we'll get you out of here on this. Of course, you are here at the St. James MLK Classic, and this is something that I'm sure, especially just having these words with you right now, that you've preached to your young men. This is so much about more than just basketball. You're in the nation's capital celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. What does it mean to you to be here during this point in time of the year?
Just amazing. It's amazing. We had a chance. First of all, the St. James Classic is one, if not the best showcase I've ever been to. Right, it's first class to start. But we had a chance to go to the African American Museum today, and it was, heartfelt. It was impressive. It left me speechless. Right, because I'm from South Carolina, and obviously we have history in that state. Being the first slave state, and so many other things. Right, and to see like all the historians that have sacrificed so much for us to even be sitting here having a conversation, it meant a lot to us. And it's crazy because I watched my team like just sit down. Yeah. Right, and it's like, man, I didn't know this. Like, being able to see shackles, being able to see, all the stories of slavery and segregation and all of this other stuff. And, Martin Luther King Jr. is the guy that really, you're talking about ultimate level of sacrifice, right? Yeah. He's been one of the most iconic figures, especially in the African-American community, but most importantly in life in general, that put it all on the line for us to have, equality, equal rights, all of the above. So it's just amazing.
Man, I tell you what, Coach, number one, again, thank you so very much for taking a moment to speak with us. Thank you for being such an outstanding coach to your young men.
Thank you.
And thank you for being an example and helping out our communities the way that we need so much more of. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. See you guys next year.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
That's going to do it for us for day 3 at the St. James MLK Classic. Another huge thank you to Jermaine O'Neal. What a man.
I mean, that was awesome.
Whew.
That is something that I don't think I'll ever forget.
Man. Jermaine O'Neal, as his squad Dynamic Prep wins our final game. That's going to do it for myself, Chad Ricardo, as well as Adam Gotkin. Thank you all so very much. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, right?
Long day tomorrow, 7 games, including a top 5 national girls game. Got to tune in for that.
Kicking off at 9 a.m. We'll both be here. Adam says good night to his mom. Good night to my mom and my lovely wife as well. Thank you to our producers. Thank you to the St. James, everybody who made